Welcome to AM Best Audio.
In an industry defined by risk and resilience, mutual insurance companies offer a distinct policyholder-focused approach to navigating today's complex landscape. At the forefront of this model is Steve Firko, Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer of Pennsylvania Lumbermens Mutual Insurance, a company deeply rooted in serving the specialized needs of the wood industry. He joins us now. Steve, so glad you could join us today.
Thank you, John. Appreciate the invitation.
So, Steve, how do the policyholder-owned structures of mutual insurance companies enable them to form deeper connections with niche industries compared to stock companies?
I think first and foremost, when you look at the history of mutual insurance companies, they were formed to serve a need. And in that case, I think that's a little different than needs of the policyholders, not necessarily stockholders. One of the things that I think distinguishes mutual forms of insurance versus stockholder, and believe me, I my first 20 years in the business, I was with stockholder companies. They're great, but the mutual policyholder format is, I think, much more service oriented and much more serving a need. Policyholders are more than just policyholders; they're members of a mutual. And I think back to our formation back in 1895. It was formed by lumber dealers in the Philadelphia area who were having difficulty getting insurance coverage from stock-held insurance companies, and they formed a mutual insurance company to respond to the needs of their members. And I think that membership has a big role in how we look at the clients we serve, and also in how we adapt to where our clients are and what they do.
In what ways does the mutual model allow for faster adaptation to the evolving needs of specialized markets?
Well, since we were formed by lumber dealers and other mutual companies are formed in the same way, farm mutuals, are similar in that regard as well. It's because we're closer to our policyholders. We get to know them better. We understand what their business needs are. And as they evolve, I think we're quicker to see those changes and adapt to those changes. And I look at our group of customers, a lot of them are multi-generational, a couple centuries old in some cases, right? They're older than the states that were before they were formed. In other words, you started with a lumber yard and then a sawmill, and then the city or the town or the state was formed after that. And I feel our form of mutual insurance actually grows with them because they needed that kind of coverage. I was struck by a statistic I saw several years back where only 1% of businesses in the U.S. in total have lasted 100 years, whereas in the mutual insurance company space, over 60% of mutual insurance companies are over 100 years, and we fall in that category ourselves, celebrating our 130th this year.
Steve, how does taking a long-term view of risk benefit mutuals when serving industries that may be volatile or cyclical?
Because we have a long-term view, where we don't have stockholders where we need to go every quarter, have to have results. We take a longer-term view. Our view is stability. Our viewpoint is policyholder surplus growth, so that we are there for the long term. And that statistic I cited earlier, I think, is a testament to that long-term view. We can step back with our board of directors and say what is good for our policyholders, what's good for the niche that we serve, and can we do that in a way that's responsible and be there for the next 130 years in our case. We always have that in our mindset whenever we make decisions regarding our insureds who we serve. And I like to use that term serve as opposed to just insure.
What makes mutual insurers particularly resilient in the face of today's economic and environmental uncertainty?
I think because we grow and we look, and because of that long-term view, I think we've been able to withstand those turbulent times in the past And that has allowed us to become who we are today. And I think any change, if you think about even our company or any other mutual company that's over 100 years old, have survived the Great Depression, have survived world wars, have survived political turmoil, have survived all sorts of things. When you think about it, I think that's the testament to that long-term view and being able to adapt and evolve regardless of what the conditions are. That long-term view allows us to step back, take a more view of, okay, what do we need to do to make sure that we're there for the next 100 years to serve our policyholders? And I think that conservative approach is probably the best approach and allows us to kind of move up and down regardless of what the market conditions are, world conditions in that case.
So, Steve, how do mutuals balance personalized service with innovation as they support highly specific industry segments like the wood industry?
Yeah, and I think that is a great. The personalized service, I think, is what allows us to see those needs or to identify those needs much quicker than those who are not in the mutual space, or that is maybe one segment of their book of business rather than the only segment that we focus on. So when I look at that, I said that personalized service allows us to get a deeper knowledge base, a deeper connection. And I feel that our insureds, our policyholders, our members understand that, feel like they have a say in really developing either policy type provisions or risk management type scenarios, things that will help them in their unique business.
So, Steve, you mentioned surviving 2 world wars and the Great Depression. So what do you see then as the future of the mutual model?
I only see that getting stronger. I think that kind of resiliency that has been demonstrated over the years, I almost see a flight to safety, right? I almost see more and more policyholders thinking longer term and saying, I'd rather be with a company that I feel will be there for me in the future. And I think we've demonstrated that over time, and especially in our industry, in our niche that we serve. This is multi-generational companies, right? And as my father, my grandfather, my great-great-grandfather, they were all insured by Pennsylvania Lumbermens at one time, and that's something that I think is a hallmark of who we are, and I believe that they feel that they have a comfort level moving forward. It allows them to sleep at night, right? It takes a level of risk out of their business when they work with us and have us as their insurance company.
Steve, it's always a pleasure to speak with you.
Thank you. Likewise, John. Appreciate it.
That was Steve Firko, Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer of Pennsylvania Lumbermen's Mutual Insurance. And I'm John Weber for AM Best Audio.
Looking to get the full attention of the insurance industry? We have the platforms that will do just that. Whether it be AM Best TV, AM Best Audio, Best Review Magazine, or Best Day. Find out more by calling AM Best Advertising Sales at 908-439-2200, extension 5399, and have a great day.